Guys, Don Jr. here. I heard something really funny yesterday. Joe Biden claimed that Donald Trump was weak on terrorists. Uh, this was one of the most laughable things I've ever heard, considering Joe Biden is literally the guy that decided to not go in to get Osama bin Laden. He's probably the only American who would even think that you shouldn't go in after Osama bin Laden. This is one of the many stories I wrote about in Liberal Privilege, the book I have coming out. It's available now. Check it out. It's on donjr.com, donjr.com. For those of you who've asked about autographed copies, I actually do a section on there because it's easy enough to do it on my own webpage before it launches elsewhere. So you may want to check it out because I talk about not only Joe Biden's incompetent decision-making, like not wanting to go kill bin Laden, but also the information they found out literally on that raid. It was recently declassified a couple months ago, and there are communications of Osama bin Laden with his henchmen saying that they wanted to kill Obama because it would put Joe Biden in charge, and that in and of itself would lead to the destruction of America. I mean, you can't make this up. Think about it. 10 years after his death, Osama bin Laden may get his wish. 10 years after his death, the person that Osama bin Laden wanted to be in charge of America, because that in and of itself would lead to the destruction of America, is the guy who is the Democratic nominee for president of the United States. You know who else doesn't think Trump's weak on terrorists? Al-Baghdadi or Soleimani. Those guys, they were looking up into the air as a missile came through their head or a dog chased them down a tunnel to a miserable death. Pretty sure Trump's been a lot harder on terrorists than just about anyone. So you guys may want to check it out. These stories are sort of interesting. And again, since we get to hear a lot about privilege these days, I figured there's no more glaring privilege than liberal privilege, where you can say whatever you want, you can do whatever you want, you can flip-flop 1,000 times. You can have your own Secretary of Defense, Obama's Secretary of Defense, Robert Gates, who literally said Joe Biden's been on the wrong side of every decision of his entire career. I mean, doesn't that tell you all you need to know? Robert Gates, Obama's own SecDef, thinks he's an idiot, obviously. Osama bin Laden wanted him to be president, and now he's the Democrat nominee. It's sort of amazing, but that's why I wrote the book, because these are the stories the media will not tell you. These are the things the American public have to know. And I go on and on. I go into details about the Biden family, Hunter, the brother, all the graft, all the millions in contracts that they had no business getting in business, all because of Joe Biden's publicly funded, taxpayer-funded office. So I think you guys will like the book. Check it out. It's on donjr.com, donjr.com. Again, for those of you who keep reaching out and saying, hey, whether it's DMs or comments in some of the posts, yes, you can actually get an autographed copy there. I'm signing a bunch of those so that we can do it. Saves you the hassle of having to find me at a bookstore later on, given the nature of COVID and what's going on in the world right now. But I think you guys will enjoy it. And if you're voting or if you know someone that's on the fence, I think once you read this book, you'll realize that not only are the media the largest frauds in modern American history, not talking about any of this insanity, but so is Joe Biden, and you won't vote for him. So appreciate it, guys. Thanks. Check it out. Liberal Privilege on donjr.com. Have a good one.